Hello, my loves. We'll wait for a couple of more of you guys to get up in here. We're gonna get this party started, right? But this is a part two from yesterday. And if you are watching the replay, skip this and go straight to the show. But make sure you hit that like and subscribe, baby. Waiting for y'all to come on in. But don't forget, hit that like and subscribe and then fast forward. Hey, hey, hey. What? 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 Hey, let's get this show on the road, baby. Get you some relaxing music so you can relax, so we can hear what's going on these YouTube streets between TKO, Tanya, and Cynthia G. Can they be both right? Can they be both right? Huh? Can they be both right? I think so. Do they both make valid points? Let me know. Let me know. Okay, we're gonna get started with this show. We're gonna start with Cynthia G, right? This is where we're gonna start. We're gonna start with Cynthia G. Then we're gonna go head up to Tanya TKO. Right? Now, I understand she's strong about how she feels, but she says she wanna let's get some things straight. So let's get some of these things straight. Let's see what's going on here.
Look, listen, y'all. I hope y'all was kind of getting y'all's energy up to that song. Cause that's Yazzie K says she hyped too early. No, you gotta get hyped. You gotta get hyped when people in your comment section with the foolishness trying to tell you what you should be doing with your womb. And the funny thing is, it's like they've been talking about what's going on with my womb for the past nearly going on 3 years. They've been talking about my womb and what I do in my womb for nearly 3 years now. And they really think that I'm affected by them doing it now.
And this
First,
is a
they had
fair
a problem
use,
with what
fair
they thought
use,
came
fair
out of my
use.
womb. And now they got a problem when I say my womb is closed and yours probably should be.
This is fair use for educational purposes. Yes, educational purposes. Entertainment and educational purposes.
I don't care. People be saying stuff, none of what I care about, though. I'm still going to do me. I'm still going to say what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want to say that I'm not giving birth to a black male, then that's just what it is. It is what it is. And that's that. And I'm not going to explain why anymore. I'm really not, because I don't have to. Bottom line is, black men don't serve a purpose to anybody except white men. And therefore, I don't feel the need to open up my womb to them. That is not my obligation. I don't have to. And I don't.
That's like a man saying a woman doesn't serve purpose to the world. So if they get a woman pregnant, it better be a boy. So again, how do we get to the middle of both extremes? It's two extremes here. A manosphere extreme and a womansphere extremes. How do we come to some conclusion? Because one could say the other thing too. Like if I get knocked up, it better be a boy. And the man can be like, well, if you get knocked up, I only want girls. Now, it's still the bad part is it's still the woman's choice. But everybody getting knocked up, nobody ain't got no ring. Nobody ain't got no ring on their finger, a legal ring on their finger. We just making these babies. I mean, something has to come before making these babies. This is where the problem relies. This is where the problem is at. We're talking about making these babies. Like, can we meet the men first? Maybe they're a good man. I mean, we just can't just throw that out like that. I mean, she can do whatever she wants to do, but we can't just throw that out like that and think that that's something that we can do. And the women who think that, I'm telling you, don't never throw away what God give you. To see when times get rough and you getting old, Cynthia G is not going to be there to help you. You might need your son. You definitely might need your son. That we do need our men, and our men do need our women. We need each other. I mean, we can keep this extreme war going on, but we'll listen to it.
I think black women should feel obligated to birth black men. If that's not what you want to do, then that's not what you want to do. What I do know is I was just listening to a debate between Taz and this dude named Blue. And this dude himself said that black women don't even need black men. Black women need to be left alone. So if you got black men out here saying that black women don't even need them, then why are you running around black women in my comment section talking about it's evil, wrong, and hateful not to give birth to people who are literally saying that you shouldn't give birth to them? That's what I have a problem with. I got a problem with that. How many black men have set up in this space talking about black women are the ones who are choosing to give birth to black males, so therefore you are responsible for black men's dereliction? Put one in the chat box if you guys have heard black men in this space talk about how black women are problematic for giving birth to black men.
Hey, love.
Whenever you complain about what black men do, what do they tell you? They tell you the one who chose to give birth to them.
Yep.
They tell you it's your fault that they're abandoning you because you chose to give birth to them. So they literally...
Dang, that these are the things that they do say. These are the things that they do say. See, we got to watch what we're saying here. Because we think we cutting each other, but we really cutting the race as in whole. But we here for the war. We here for it. We ain't part of it, but we here for it. But the black men do say that. Yes, they do.
been begging you to not give birth to them. And mind you, this is not the first time that this has been said. But then when I come on here and say, oh yeah, I'm going to choose not to open my womb to black men, then it becomes a problem. That's your problem. If you don't like it as your problem, it's that simple. It really is just that simple. I'm not obligated to loan you out my womb. It's not hateful if I don't want to loan you out my womb. Until you prove to be a benefit to black women, I find it to be silly for black women to give birth to men who are literally advocating for you to not give birth to him.
How about give him no kids?
Like, somebody please make it make sense for me. You literally got black men in songs talking about they putting money on George Zimmerman. And we know they ain't putting money on them to do nothing to him because George Zimmerman ain't been touched by you, won't be touched by you.
So save the men, but populate the world with more little girls to be hurt. I'm not getting what you're saying. Save them. Save the men, but not the little girls. Okay.
Women are having a very difficult time understanding the fact that they're giving birth to expendable males. Keep in mind, they are only expendable to you because they've been a benefit to white men since they came in contact with them. And this woman I know was spewing some dusty three trash bag logic because it didn't make sense. And that's how you can identify three trash bag logic, by whether or not it makes sense. And so what this woman said didn't make sense. And so I knew that she was coming from an emotional place. And see, Black people don't understand an emotional argument versus a logical argument. So let me tell you what an emotional argument is. An emotional argument is when you argue in favor of giving birth to men who don't benefit you. That's called an emotional argument. When you sit up there and say, well, I love my Black son, so therefore we should overlook the fact that they're problematic and still give birth to them. That's called an emotional argument. When I come on here and say, oh, well, these are the men who sold you into slavery, these are the men who wreak havoc on your community, these are the men who don't provide, these are the men who don't protect, these are the men who only cause problems for you while choosing to go out and benefit everybody that's not you, stop giving birth to a threat, that is called a logical argument. That's what that's called. If you don't have any justifications for giving birth to something other than the fact that you just want to look at it, that's called emotion. That's called emotion. Now, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I think the Black women who want to continue giving birth to Black men, then they should. If you feel like it's productive to keep giving birth to them, then give birth to them. But for the Black women who think it's counterproductive, then yeah, it's your choice in whether or not you choose to birth them. And people think they can run around with these shaming tactics and that is going to somehow change something, but it's not. You can sit here and engage in shaming tactics and make the silly emotional argument that somehow the system and the structure and men of no color who Black men are trying to emulate somehow want us to stop giving birth, and that by not giving birth we're falling into the hands of white supremacy. You can say that, but when you try to apply it logically, it doesn't track. The bottom line of it is this: Black men have been, since they've met white men, been a benefit to him. However, just because he poses a benefit to men of no color don't mean that he poses one to Black women. So the bottom line of it is by you continuing to birth the man who literally helped to establish white supremacy, you are actually helping white supremacy. You're not harming anything. You're not stopping anything by giving birth to the males who are the greatest non-white asset to the system. You're not doing anything but helping. And I know that this logic came from a struggle bandit because, again, it doesn't make sense. And then it puts an importance on Black men that doesn't exist. As if somehow his presence is doing anything except for helping the system. And that same woman that was in my comment section could not tell you how giving birth to Black men does anything except benefit the system. She literally couldn't do that. If I was to ask her, well, how does giving birth to Black men, how does that stop or prevent white supremacy rather than help to maintain it? She wouldn't have been able to answer it. But the reality of it is if Black men are a benefit to white supremacy, which we know they are.
Okay, but the same rule apply. I mean, us women are doing everything that we can do. How are we can't do it without each other. So what are women doing for the people? How do you answer that? You could say we have businesses. Yeah. I mean, this has gotten too extreme, really extreme. I guess the next civil war that we're gonna have, or we already starting the civil war, is gonna be the Black man and the Black woman. Yeah, so she says a lot of key things for the soldier, but some things you just gotta question. But she says it sounds logical. How about don't have no man baby? That's the choice I would come with. I ain't giving no man no baby. Some women like, I'm not giving the man no baby. At the end of the day, if you still don't want to have a male child. And as she said in the last video, at a certain amount of weeks, you can see what the baby's going to be. So you'll have that baby, but if it's a girl, at the end of the day, it's still that man's kid. It's still that man. You may have the girl that you want, but that man DNA is still in that baby. You can't get away from that. So if you're going to be logical, you got to be all the way logical. And don't come on this thing talking about the girls and women that's getting. Yes, I know. I'm a female. I know these things. We all walk scared. That's a shame. Women have to be scared all the time of these narcissistic, crazy men. Not all men. But it doesn't take away the fact that that man DNA is still 50% yours and 50% his. Now, what if that child go older and want to be with his dad, want to be with her dad? Would the child have certain qualities of her dad? Bringing girls doesn't do nothing when that's still that man's child. Whether it's a boy or girl, the man you had that baby from, it's still his child too. But you want to get rid of the men. You're not getting rid of the men now, because now you stuck to a man that's your baby daddy. The object is to leave them alone. The object is, if they don't want to deal with us, we don't want to deal with them. Let's just kiss and say goodbye. It's been a good run from the beginning of time to 2021. We had a good run. It didn't work out for us. So we're going to stay by ourselves and you stay by yourself. But to say, oh, I want to mingle and I want to get knocked up, but it's only got to be a girl, I don't think so. I don't think so.
If you continue to give birth to them, then you're continuing to benefit white supremacy. It's really just logic. It's really math. 1 + 1 is going to equals 2. And that means giving birth to black men is going to mean you're helping white supremacy in a number of different ways. And we could go over the different ways that birthing black men means you're helping white supremacy. We can go over a number of different ways, but I bet you there isn't a black woman or a black man who can tell you how giving birth to them stops white supremacy. I can tell you that. Let's see, you got black men shucking and jiving and helping with the establishment, always going against their so-called people. That helps white supremacy. They literally help build the system. You have black men who are failing to do anything to challenge the system, so therefore they're helping to maintain the system. Black men are widening that racial wealth gap by giving all their money to women of no color, because after you birth them, they're not going to be loyal to you. What they're going to do is go seek out a woman that they believe is better than you. And it just so happens she's going to be the group of women who give birth to the men that they're complaining about.
Now, that part is true. That part is true. That part is true. They have done it to us time and time again.
That you're sitting up here saying, oh, well, these men, you're falling right into the hands of these men by literally birthing the AIDS to white supremacy. But you don't see that you're birthing the AIDS to white supremacy, just like you don't see that you're birthing your enemy. Again, if you feel like it's productive to continue to birth black men, then continue to birth them. Continue to do it. Continue to. That's the thing. Black women don't understand. I'm not telling you what you have to do. I'm having a logical discussion about whether it's productive or counterproductive to give birth to them. And right now, the only thing I can come up with is that it's counterproductive. And mentioning roads being built in Africa when it's dominated by the Chinese, and these men can't even listen. This is how silly this argument is. Number one, black men are the majority. on the continent. And I don't understand why black women can't even look over there to the continent to see that having more black men doesn't mean that you're going to be liberated. There are more black men on the continent than in this country, significantly. Significantly. Most black people are not in the US, they are outside of it, specifically on the continent. If black men are the majority, they outnumber men of no color, they outnumber Asians. However, they're still at the mercy of Asians. You can't even get a job on your own land. You got to go to these men to give you jobs. Jobs meaning creating roads to help other men stay in power. Then clearly, having more black men doesn't mean you're going to be liberated or that black men are going to have any power. They don't deserve any power. It's just that simple. Because what would they do with their power? Black men would never liberate black women with any power. Actually, they would help to subjugate them. Why do you think you're in this system right now? Why do you think that you're in this system right now? Do you think that you're in this system because black men fought for you and just lost? Or do you think that they lost, but they also sold you out? They lost and they sold you out. It just is what it is. So anybody can call it as hateful as they want to. You can say it's irresponsible. You can say it's demonic. You can say whatever you want to. I don't owe anybody access to my womb. I don't owe black men existence through my womb. I don't owe them anything. And neither do black women, unless you just believe.
Let's see what some of the comments say. Let's go through some of the comments. Okay? We're gonna stop right here and we're gonna read through these comments. Let's see if more people agree or don't agree. I just want a different point of view. Just want a different point of view. So let's see. Okay? Someone says, but black men won't come for the non-black people that bash them for chasing them, degrading them, and making fun of them for leaving women as single mothers. Then we have one lady says, head up, black women. Deidre Nottingham, a single child-free senior citizen, was on PBS New Hour this past weekend being interviewed about having affordable housing. Ms. Nottingham says she does not mind being alone. She is elated to finally have permanent housing and have no plans to move. Okay. Black men are the only group of men that economically keep this system going. Questions. Have you ever sat back and noticed how many hospitals are Catholic based on section off from the Catholic Church? Okay. This one says you can choose to give birth with any group you want. Why is it massive controversy if you say you don't want to birth black boys with black men? Have you seen the collective statistics on black fathers in the U.S.? Ooh. There are women who look at many factors of male group before birthing them. Ooh. When you said all black men in Africa couldn't do it on their own land and they were the biggest hope, shaking my head, I told my sister the topic and we were talking and I realized my sister had already made this decision. Okay. Then this one says, for your information, we don't have to weed out the males by aborting after finding out the sex. There's a such thing as sperm sorting. Yeah, we heard of that too. Okay. How can so many black people not even know their fathers? But black men act like they have an issue with less of their children being made. You wasn't going to stick around anyway, sir. Wow. That statement is the first part of that statement was I have to agree with. A lot of these children do not know. Yeah, a little bit of both for soldier. It's crazy that, dang, that's true. A lot of these kids do not know their dads. A lot of them When they dad get like older and things start messing up, then they want to get to know their kids. And it's sad for a child to even lose a father and have them emotions of losing a father of a man that they don't even know. I think that's a terrible thing to put on a child, because at the end of the day, you still that child's father. And if a child loses their parent, they still have a connection to their parent regardless. And for them to have to suffer from losing a parent that was never there, who they truly don't know, that's a disservice to the child and disservice to the community. Because now the child is stuck with the solution is ain't gonna be no solution for soldier, because they this war, this extreme war is on. This extreme war is on. I told you, I agree with the man from the Alpha, whatever. The video disappeared. There was no we're taking this video. The person want the video down. No email, no nothing. The video just disappeared. Maybe he saw his name in the title and said, I want that video out of here. Hey, not now. The phrase should change from single moms to abandoned fathers. Well, that goes together. It goes together. Hey, Miss Molly, welcome. Sugar, Sin was arguing two different points, which confused some people. First, she said to abort male fetuses, which means she would still have sex with black men. Then she said she'll close her. That's the part that I'm saying too, Miss Molly. Miss Molly, yeah, that sucker disappeared. We've been with saying that, Miss Molly. Either way, you're talking about doing things to babies. You got to get the man first. You gotta let the man in your womb for him to even give you a baby. And is it going to be a black man? So that's why I said it's that extreme that at some points in time, neither one is making no sense. They just have to argue something because of the extremities. So if the black extreme, the black men extreme say something, yeah, this is the battle of the sexes. It's at an all-time high. Yes, ma'am. But we're gonna finish looking at some of these comments. I like to see what people have to say. And I usually don't, but sometimes I do. Okay. One lady says, black women, who says to you other black women need to choose better are the main ones who didn't choose better? Your husband or boyfriend cheating on you and accepting his disrespect is not choosing better, dummy. Well, you don't know. People could say that. Maybe they ain't got no man forever, true. When these mammies, first of all, these mammies still birthed a lot of you. They're like, my mother ain't no mammy. Maybe it was your grandmother, your great grandmother. Y'all gotta be careful what you call these women. These mammies that you may not like, these mammies had to do what they had to do to keep their kids safe in their mind. Y'all say mammies like being a mammy is a bad thing. Being a mammy was a good thing. You know how I would feel, just like the men who had to, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Sometimes they did that just to save their kid's life. Sometimes they did that just not to get beat. But them mammies, they kept that your lifeline is here, right? If a lot of us is here now in 220. Oh my God. In 2021, that means these mammies kept that lifeline going. That's how you made it here, right? But it does make sense for a black woman to only open her womb to a husband who can. Hey, that's the point here, Miss Molly. Good golly, Miss Molly. Woo! Woo! Good God and Miss Molly. All right now. Let's finish reading some of these comments before we get back into the show. Now, but she that these mammies, like, yeah, some women are mammies. These mammies are sometimes the best thing. Shit. Just don't birth men seriously. We only need a small amount of them. Look at her. Thank you, Tasha. Jesus Christ was created through immaculation conception. Yeah, even the most high God knew men could not be part of the plan. Wow. You better read that Bible again, baby. Isn't the much simpler and the more easily executed solution to just advise black women to avoid getting pregnant by a black man altogether? I agree with that. The end result of the idea of not birthing black males, they're gonna still have babies though. So what? Who? So then, what you gonna do? Sit around and do nothing? Y'all gotta be careful what y'all saying. I am confused. This is literally a nose brainer. Stop sleeping with them. Exactly. You are correct, Cynthia. If these other women are still living in denial, let them go. Everyone called me crazy because even as a little girl, I knew I would never give birth to a black man's baby. Here I'm in my 40s, living my peaceful life while the people who ridicule me are having nothing but drama. They reject the truth. Okay. I'm only having daughters as well. To the hell, to the no, no, no. Black women have the right to choose what will cause the least amount of stress. Wow, that's harsh. I grew up watching black sons cuss their mothers out when they wouldn't give them what they want, towering over them. And I saw the other fear in their mother's eyes. I know, see, loads of them disrespect their own mothers for doing the best after being abandoned by the black male partners. That is also true. It hurts my heart, but that is also true. Some of these sons scares the heck out their mothers. And I don't even care if you raise them right. So, would you shut up? Barking like you crazy. It's not even my door. I'm proud my wife is white. Hubert Davis. Okay. Older black woman here from the Mammy age group. Mammy and my sons was out of the question. I held them accountable for every action they did or didn't take. That's good. That's good, Nikki. I'm 23, Cynthia. You saved my life. I have 0 kids. Wow. Wow. So I can say is whoa. Like, whoa.
That you're beholden to black men. And some of you do believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that I owe black men anything. Most black women do. I don't believe it's a benefit for me to give birth to a black male. So I promise you these eggs will scramble before a black man be birthed through my womb. It just is what it is. I don't owe them anything. And due to the fact that I don't feel like it's a benefit to birth them, I'm not going to birth them. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It ain't going to stop nothing. It ain't going to stop me from closing off my womb to black men. But the women who think that they should continue to give birth to them, you should continue to give birth to them. And you should see where it gets you. See how far you get by continuing to birth your actual real oppressors. Go ahead, continue. Continue. Because at the end of the day, all you're doing as a black woman is prolonging your suffering. You can't name one benefit to giving birth to these men, but you're running around talking about it's crazy to discuss not giving birth to them. No, it's crazy at this point for you to give birth to them. Yeah, I'm trying to find this comment so I can read it to you, so I can show you.
Okay. Is the sentiment that all black men leave their children or just some? And if all, how is that measured to be a fact? I believe that it is some. It can never be all. To be all is to say all, and that would mean everyone. So I believe it's some. But I'm telling y'all, the next civil war is going to be between the. It's already. I'm telling you, it's already here. The hatred we have for each other is here. Everybody trying to prove a point. There is the where the love though. Where the love go? Where the love go? Where the love go? But nobody wants to take. Maybe like when we say nobody, everybody got to take responsibility of themselves. Maybe that's her way of holding herself accountable. But everybody got to hold themselves accountable for what actions or what happens and who they be with and why they chose to not, deny the red flags. You got a lot of these young women, I hate to say, that's not watching these shows, that's making plenty of babies, that's making plenty of them. We see it too many times. You're not going to stop it. That's why they got this war going on. And it's going to trickle down to the kids. Matter of fact, it's already trickling down. It's trickling down. And we the adults, this is what we show them. How to not like each other. We teaching our little boys not to have respect for women. We teaching our girls to literally hate men. Not don't like them. Not don't be bothered with them. Not choose a good man. We're teaching them to hate them. We're teaching them that they are our enemy. It's a lot of hurt people out here, baby. It's a lot of hurt people. But we shall finish hearing this. Yes, ma'am. Then we're going to go on to Tanya TK.
Now let me read this comment to you. And it's a long, drawn out comment, a comment that's typical of Black women, never using logic, only using emotion, staying dedicated to men who really are not ever and never have been dedicated to them. But sure.
Hold up before she read this letter.
If this is the
hold on. Now, I don't hear Cynthia G making a distinction. I don't hear where the manosphere make distinction either. I don't hear where this lady on a couple of women who hate women, who's working with the manosphere to hate women. I don't see where they make a distinction neither. They say all. They don't say some women. They say all. It sounds like you're saying all Black men without exception. The swirlers sure do. It's certain interpreted that way. No, but that's sometimes when people talk, they say all, but it can't possibly be all. But I don't hear, when they're talking about women, I don't hear the distinction. Unless the woman is following their protocol. It's like if a woman don't follow your protocol, then we everything but the child of God. But we are the child of God first. When we're not barefoot and pregnant and all this submissive crap and oh God forbid, I didn't say it was with the manosphere. I said they don't make a distinction. That's what I said. I'm a revolutionary, completely different ideology. It's okay. I'm with the love. I'm with the love back. Where the love at? But I'm just saying, make sure when you check out Manosphere, see if they say all women. Listen to how they talk. I'm with the female MAGTOW. The MAGTOW has been going their own way. I'm gonna be with the WAGTOW. Women going their own way. How about we just don't be bothered with each other Period. That's it. Don't come scratching at no female door, though, when you decide to go your own way. Don't look for us to do no sexual healing, okay? All right. I would never give up on black men, most anyway. I mean, I would never give up on them. I can't give up on them because, we have male kids and male grandkids. But I'm up to the point, it's so much dysfunction. I don't know if I even care anymore. Sin has repeatedly said, okay, you're 100% correct, Miss Molly, but so have the manosphere and the rest of them. They say all women. Both of them are pushed to the extremes. We got the extreme toxic masculine energy against the extreme uh, masculine energy coming from the females. They're both doing the same thing. So, what makes one wrong without the other one wrong? Black men refuse to take accountability for their failed leadership. They need to just they don't want it to be known that they never had leadership anyway. When we try to get leadership, we had this thing called somebody infiltrated. We always had somebody that came in. I know what you're saying, but I'm saying they say the same thing. So make sure when you go to one of these manospheres or one of these red pills or whatever pill that degrades women all day, make sure you go and tell them the same thing. I get what she's saying. I'm not saying where I don't agree with her. For some point, she really truly makes that 100% correct. The same way some points that men make are 120% correct. But that's the dusty man and the dusty female. That's a dusty man and a dusty female. But you got a lot of bad mothers is bad. They couldn't be that bad if the fathers didn't walk away. How can you be a bad mother and you got a man in your house? No, a few years ago, no, do it now because you're making this now. So you have to do it now. A few years ago was too long ago. It seems to me both parties are looking for someone to blame. Both parties, they and they gonna happen. It's true. See, that would happen if money wasn't to be made. That would happen. But it pays good. It pays good money to keep the extremes going. It pays be like go on their page. Forget about what they say. Look how much money these men pay somebody to dog out a female. Look how much money they pay to hear somebody dog out a man. They getting paid good money for this. So we all sold out paying each other, but they the only ones getting paid. That's why you gotta listen to yourself. You gotta make up your own decision and listen for yourself. But now it's too much. Just like drama. That is drama. That pays. That pays good. That pays money. They're not gonna mess up their money because we want unity. No. There's no money in unity. But there's plenty of money in unity.
If this is what Black people want to do, they're free to do it. God has bestowed upon you the power to determine whether Black men ever die. They can sit up here, well, not whether they live or die, but whether they exist or not. And that's more power than whether they live or die. So if you have the power to control whether they exist, then whoever the creator is, they may be Black men's God. Now, Black men can quarrel with that as much as they want to. But at the end of the day, if you're over here whining about what Black women choose to do with their womb, it's because you know your existence is at the mercy of what Black women choose to do with our wombs. It's just that simple. Now, we know Black men are on the spectrum. Most of them are slow. So we know that you can do the simple equation of if a woman controls whether you exist or not. I don't care how many Bibles tell you have the seed. You can have the seed, that's fine, but a woman still determines whether or not you exist. And see, by having this conversation, Black men realize
every week.
Black men realize that Black women are their God. Will they ever speak it out their mouth? No. But they'll run around bleeding and pussy popping in everybody's comment section talking about, oh, you're me because you won't give birth to me. You can create children with any race of women, but you're creating Black men to give birth to girl by. You better pass that baton to a throwback Becky and tell her to get that struggle going ready to give birth to some Black men because I ain't doing it.
Oh gosh.
I promise you I ain't doing it. Y'all got these dudes running around here unjustifiably arrogant, and the one time that you have, the one opportunity you have to put them in their place, you sit up and do the exact opposite, and then you wonder why they don't respect you. You wonder why they don't value you, because they will sit up and admit that they are not doing anything for you. They don't provide you anything.
I've seen it. 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 But thank you for asking me to watch it. I have seen it. It was very good. But thank you.
And even though they have the means, they don't feel like you deserve it, and you'll still sit up and advocate for their existence. You'll still do it. And this way, they will never respect you. They will never respect you. They will never value you because they already understand Black women's minds are right where Black men want it to be. Just like Black men's mindset is right where men want it to be. Conquered, subjugated, submissive, dominated. What Black women fail to realize is that Black men value the system of white supremacy more than he values you. He doesn't value you as much as he values the system of white supremacy, and that's why he refuses to pour into you the way he will pour into white supremacy. And then you're sitting up here in my comment section making long, drawn-out, nonsensical comments that really only uplift Black men and show them why they should never value you. Because you simply don't have the self-esteem to. Again, I'll say, the Black women who think that it's beneficial to continue to have Black male children, then you should continue to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the beautiful thing about choices. You can make whatever choices you...
And she's right about that, because, honey, ain't nothing like having a son. I'm sorry. Ain't nothing, there's not, I mean, your daughter is like, it can be your best friend. You want to scratch your eyes out, but ain't nothing like having a son. It ain't nothing like, hey mom, yeah mom, hey. You know, when they go from that regular little voice and they voice get a little deeper and they think they're a man. I think that's the cutest thing when you watch the man, little young boys, I love them stages. And they start getting the little peach fuzz, and they start feeling themselves, and you're like, oh, you got your little peach fuzz now, huh? Think you're a man, huh? I think it's cute. I'm sorry. I digest. Don't y'all have no male kids. I'm just saying, if you do, it's hey, you have messed up daughters too. Some little girls is worse than them boys, please. It's worse than them boys. How many times you gotta go chasing them slit tails around? You gotta chase them little slit tails around. Where the hell you at? What you doing? Look at how Black men have taken great joy declaring that a Black woman net worth is just $5. That is true. They do rejoice in our failures and get angry with us, because I have done videos that will back that up, Miss Molly. So that part it will be correct. Now you can have one woman who's grooming us not to even be successful.
You want to, no matter how counterproductive you are. You have the ability to do that. So even though it is proven that birthing black men is 100% counterproductive, you still have the choice to birth them. You can birth them if you want to. It doesn't matter. You can birth your oppressor if that is what you want to do as black woman. It just is what it is. Let me read this comment. And this is from a black woman. Now, this is the epitome of a emotional argument as opposed to a logical one. She starts it out by saying, I'm black, my husband is black, and my children will be black. Period. This is literally what she wrote. She said, this is exactly what they want us to do. Erase our history, erase our blackness. We need to be focused on finding solutions to ensure our melanin is protected because it's powerful. I don't care how you word it. Black erasure will be the product. Now, listen. She wrote more than this. This is the first paragraph, but she wrote more than this. So she's starting out with emotion, not fact. She's starting out already with emotion, no fact, just trash bag logic. This is the only thing she's doing is 100% trash bag logic. If your melanin was so powerful, which I'm not denying the power of melanin, melanin does have power, but let's be real, your melanin ain't getting you out of subjugation, it's putting you in subjugation. And the more you give birth to those melanated males who are only going to be considered babies for the first 2 years of their lives, you're only solidifying it. She's sitting up here saying, oh, that's what they want us to do. Why would they want the men, the single group of men who have always been working on their behalf, why would they want them gone? There's no reason for men of no color to want black men gone, considering they've always been an asset to them. There's no reason. There's not one reason why. Like, nobody cares about your melanin. Men of no color dominate your melanin. Men of no color literally, and I don't even think it's men of no color, but let's just say for the sake of these people who want to sit up here and make excuses for black men of no color got black men hating their melanin so much that they want to go pollute it and get rid of it through the womb of a woman of no color. And she's sitting up here, over here talking about melanin being powerful. Not to the males that you're birthing, though. You call in the melanin powerful, and they're saying it's a curse. And that's why they want to erase that curse through the womb of a woman of no color. That is why they will funnel their money into her and not you. Because while you're giving birth to them, in the curse of what they believe is their melanin, according to them, the womb of a woman of no color is freedom and liberation from that same melanin that they obviously hate.
You're ready to start.
Or black women are this delusional.
Now, I have heard, y'all can't act like we have not heard that come out of some of these artists' mouth. A lot of these artists, even Chris Brown, light as he is, say he don't like dark skin. It's a lot of artists who a lot of women support them. And for them to tell us we don't like dark skinned women, they don't even like light skinned women. They want close to white women. They want, because light skin doesn't mean you get in the door. Because you could be light skinned all you want, but if your hair is not like a little straight and curly, you off the list too. You better make sure that wig stay on your head. But we have heard this time and time again, Kodak Black and other people, once they come into money, they have said publicly they don't do with dark. They don't. 50 Cent, Little Wayne. We can go on and on for days. They said they don't like black women. They said they want an exotic looking woman. That has been said. That is documented. They don't want us no. Once they get money, they want exotic. Exotic women. Like, oh, damn. And for the people who, I don't know how. Now, I could say black women stop supporting. Now, that'll be the best thing to say. Stop supporting them. But that we can't do it. Regardless of how much we try, does she consider herself black? They know not what that do. That in the Bible, I don't like rap. No, but it's not even just rappers. I said men when they make money. That go for the whole entertainment business. The whole entertainment. If you look back on a lot of your entertainers, um, Sammy Davis, they put a hit out on Sammy Davis because he couldn't stay away from the Caucasian women. Come on now. That goes back to Sammy Davis, Portier, whatever, Sidney Portier. Come on now. This ain't just rappers. This been going on a long, long time. What's the other man name? Quincy Jones. This ain't just rappers. This go back a long time with them telling you that they don't like a black woman. They're not talking about the color tone, dark-skinned women. They said no. Yes, they've been here a long time. Once they get money. So, but we can't let go of them because we can't say we will not support them. We have no business at their concerts. They just said they don't like us. This is the type of woman I want. But we still can't let them go. They can let us go, but we can't let them go. Maybe because women have boys. See, a lot of them don't be around a daughter enough, some of them, to see how special the daughter is, unless she's mixed with from an, as they call it, exotic woman. But they got regular little girls, they don't see it. But women are stuck with the kids, so we see our sons. So maybe it's hard for us to get rid of them because we care for our sons and our nephews, our grandkids, that we won't let the male race go. But they don't have no problem letting us go. Look at billionaire Robert F. Smith. He's married to a playboy centerfold who showed her insides to the world. But she is okay. The bottom line, black men need to change their circumstances by their own efforts. Black men have a false sense of importance because, yeah, yeah. But them women, they only gave them some importance because they had some money. They had some money. Even before Malcolm X. We're going to call him, what's his name, Little? Malcolm Little? Malcolm Little even sat there. He had to do it too until he became Muslim. And a lot of them too, in the different religions, they still sneak. They still sneak and get the other women, the quote unquote exotic women. So we're not going to call her a liar there. No, we're not.
They're this delusional. So then she says, also, black men and black women are the reason our bonds are broken. I've seen too many toxic women and men to know why they are single. She's waving her unhappy marriage to a struggle bandit that's going to keep her rooted in power and poverty. She's waving it like a badge of honor, and she's using it so that she can feel better than black women who are not married. even though she gains nothing from marrying a black man, absolutely nothing. 9 times out of 10, chances are her somebody else's boyfriend and baby daddy, but she's still waving her marriage like a badge of honor as if it actually matters to the struggle bandit that she's with. He probably laid up in the caves right now as she's typing this silly message in my chat box. It just is what it is. Black women are delusional. Especially these ones that are bragging on unhappy marriages. Then she says, the reason why boys are raised by single mothers, most of those don't know how to be a man. That man then has children and the cycle perpetuates itself. So why are you giving birth to the cycle then, dummy? That's the question then. Because if you know the cycle is them walking out on their children, not teaching them how to be a man, then why are you giving birth to them and perpetuating the single mother cycle then? Why? Why are you perpetuating the same problem that you're sitting here complaining about? If you weren't giving birth to struggle bandits, or if you were practicing selective breeding, would you be perpetuating a cycle? Probably not. But when you just want to give birth to black men willy-nilly just because you married to one, she probably married and going 50-50 too. Okay? Because she bragging on a marriage with a man who can't even provide for her. Talking about she know why other women are single. Probably because they want to be in a relationship with men who are providers and protectors, and yours ain't one of them, and you're simply just sitting up here settling. It's a problem. She then says, it's big like this. She says,
no, what it is, foot soldier, is not black people that are cursed by God. It's our action, it's our transgressions against God that make us cursed. Not black people. It's our transgressions. God told us, do not. We made a deal with God. Our forefathers, hey, Miss Leo, our forefathers made a deal with God. And God said, do you want to take this deal? Okay, if you do this, I'm going to do that. So they had a choice. Our forefathers had a choice. If you believe in the book, if you don't, please do not leave a comment. I do not want to see a comment if you do not believe in the book. This is only if you believe in the book, because she believes in the book and I'm answering her question. So in Deuteronomy, he specifically, it was a deal. We broke the deal. So it has nothing to do with our color. It was our actions. It was our disrespect. We disrespected him. We disrespected the Lord. Everything he told us not to do, we did. He said, don't follow false gods. We did. He said, don't wear no image of his son. How many people you see with a cross on, with Jesus on it? God said you cannot profit off his name. We can't even play a gospel song right now that sing about God without getting a copyright strike. How that gospel music should be open to anybody. But no, we got to pay for it. Yeah. So you make sure, so people got to thinking it's because of our skin color. That's all I'm saying. It has nothing to do with our skin color. And tell the great Ron, it's not about the color. It's about the transgressions. Now let's go.
The girls, here's where she first says, this is where she first wrong. Cycles don't perpetuate themselves. People perpetuate cycles. So if you have black women with the knowledge that black men are not going to raise their children, they're going to walk out, they don't know how to be men, and then you continue to give birth to that, that means you're perpetuating the cycle. The cycle is not perpetuating itself, you're doing it. It was just like that struggle bandit talking about how the system is doing things that black men are doing. The system isn't causing your DV rate to increase. The fact that you keep putting hands and feet on women is causing the DV rates to increase. She has struggle bandit logic. She's speaking from the mindset of a trash bag bandit, most likely the one that she had in her home while she's in a 90-10 relationship, because when a woman engages in a so-called 50-50 relationship with a black male feminist, it's actually a 90-10 relationship where she's carrying 90% of the burden because she's the masculine one, and her husband is trying to rest in his femininity. It just is what it is, because he can't provide for the family, so therefore she has to get in her masculine and pick up the slack. And she's sitting here saying that the cycle is perpetuating itself. No, lady, you're perpetuating the cycle. You're doing it. She said, for the girls, we're raised to be independent and strong while the boys are coddled. It's been like this for decades now. Yeah, and the way to stop it is to stop giving birth to the problem. This is logic versus emotional arguments. If you realize there's a problem and it's being perpetuated by the men, if you continue to birth them into existence, you are perpetuating the problem. It's just that simple. You are perpetuating the problem. Black women have the power given to them by God. Why do you think God bestowed this type of power on you? Why? I want black women to really sit up here and think about why it is that God gave you, as a woman, the power to determine whether men exist or not. He did not give that power to men. He, she, or whoever. This is what we know. God did not bestow the power to determine who exists or not on the men. He bestowed it on the women. Why? Number one, because women are smarter. And number two, because women are more spiritually in tune and intuitive. And number three, because God obviously felt like you were far more responsible. So therefore, God bestowed that power on you. So now you're at a situation where you need to make an executive decision and you don't want to do it. You don't want to make the executive decision that you've been given the power to make. Let me ask you guys something. Do you think that black men have the power to give birth to black women? Do you think black men would be sitting up here debating whether or not they should give birth to black women? Or do you think black men would have closed their struggle womb off to black women a long time ago? If black men had the power to give birth, they would have been and stopped giving birth to black women. And that's why they don't got the power. Black men, if they were in this position, they would have been stopped giving birth to you. And we know this because they're already abandoning even procreating with you. They're going to procreate with women who possess the phenotype and the genetics to erase that powerful melanin that you keep mentioning. Black men would have been stopped giving birth to you if they had the power to, they would have stopped giving birth to you already. They already would have stopped giving birth to you. They wouldn't sit up and debate it. They wouldn't discuss it. They would just get on code, just like they did with not protecting you. Notice how black men didn't sit up and have panel discussions on whether or not they should stop protecting black women. They just never protected you. They just never protected you. They didn't sit up and decide whether or not they wanted to provide for you. They just stopped providing. They just stopped doing it. And the majority of them were in agreement. Black men didn't sit up and have a panel on whether or not they would abandon their children. They simply just abandoned their children. So there's no reason to believe that if black men had the power to give birth to you, they would just choose to not give birth to you. And guess what? The majority of black men would be in agreement with it. The majority of black men are saying that you don't deserve protection, therefore the majority of black men don't protect you. The majority of black men said you don't deserve to be provided for, therefore the majority of black men don't provide for you. Even when they have the resources and means to do it, they just don't do it. They don't do it. And the reason they don't do it is because they don't think you're worth it. They don't value you enough. Again, they value white supremacy more than they value you, and that is why they invest in white supremacy and they don't invest in you. And while you're sitting up here deciding over whether to give birth to them just because you want to look at them, because they're not really serving you a purpose. So the only reason why you will be giving birth to them is because you want to look at them. While you're doing that, they're in sectors talking about how they want to start another Black community without you, with women of no color. It just is what it is. Let me get you out of my bitter chat room then. Let me not subject you to my bitterness and craziness anymore, since you're too remedial to remove yourself from a space where you feel like you're not valued. And you're not valued. You're not valued over here. So if you're not going to remove yourself, then I'm going to go ahead and remove you. This ain't the chat box where your opinion matters and where you get to bussy pop. I think you need to go over into those
I can't wait for them to
women
cut
chat
us
boxes,
loose all together.
and you need to go
how I
twerk over
feel.
there, because those are the women
That's
who
how I
value
feel.
you. I don't. My womb ain't even open to you. So if my womb ain't open to you, my chat box sure ain't open to you. Get your ass out of here and go twerk in somebody else's chat box. Don't nobody want to hear what you saying. It doesn't matter. No matter what you say, I could be bitter, I could be crazy. I'm still not giving birth to one of y'all. I'm still not giving birth to one of y'all. And the more you pop your little achy bussy in my chat box, the more you validate why I shouldn't. You better go over to one of those Black male worshipers and sit up there like, I don't even be hearing, just like Megan said in that song, y'all be talking and I don't even be listening to what y'all saying. I don't even be listening to it because it doesn't matter. There's nothing to listen to. You are a struggle bandit. You're not even a great value trash bag. You're a Dollar General trash bag.
Damn.
You're a Dollar General trash bag trying to drag your little dusty bag all into my comment section thinking somebody care about what you say. I don't care. You ain't getting birthed by me. It is what it is. Go find you a haggard Beckisha and ask her to open up the womb of hell to give birth to you. You need to do that. Because I'm not about to. And let me tell you, once my mind is made up, there isn't a chance in hell that you're going to change it. I will sit here and have no children before I have a Black male child. And what's really interesting, do y'all want to know what kills me? Let me tell y'all what kills me, not literally, figuratively. This is what gets me about a lot of Black women. You have Black women who haven't given birth to one child talking about how hateful it is for Black women to not give birth to a male child. Ma'am, you haven't given birth at all. So if you haven't given birth at all, then doesn't that make you just as hateful as the women who are saying they're not giving birth to a Black male? Actually more hateful, because the women saying that they won't give birth to a Black male, they're saying they'll give birth to a Black female. You haven't given birth to anyone. So don't come in my comment section with your dried up, dead, cemetery ass womb talking about what I should do with mine. Ain't nobody throwing shots at Tanya. I'm blocking you for even saying that. I'm going to block you for even saying that. If this was directed at Tanya, I would say her name. When have y'all ever heard me come on here and address somebody and not say their name?
See, now that's what I was waiting for. I knew that. I told y'all in my other video, I said them two women are both strong-minded women. They'll get over it. They'll get over it. And I'm glad that she's not talking about her. And I'm glad it just was two women with strong views. Sometimes people take that, when you have strong views about something and you don't waver, they think like it's beef. No, it's no beef. It's no, we don't. No, that person just feels strong about how they feel. I feel strong about how I feel. But that's only one thing. It's a lot of other things that make us cool. We still cool. We don't have to agree on everything. That don't make us have beef. Like I said, at least them two were speaking up their minds. She didn't get ambushed like she did with She-Ra 7 and Michael, whatever her name is, the one who was the pink pill, then they kicked her out from being a pink pill, and then they always talk about divest. I'm like, why y'all want to come up with all these new damn words? Damn, divest instead of saying sleeping with somebody is not from your own race. Divest and all these new letters and stuff. I'm like, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about. What that mean? Shit. Remember, we're gonna hear what we're gonna hear what Tanya has to say. This is just one point of view. We're gonna hear another point of view.
I was addressing Tanya. First of all, I wouldn't even address her on YouTube. I would address her behind the scenes. And if I chose to address her on YouTube, I would say it on YouTube. This is not directed at Tanya. Go read the comments in my comment section. Go read them. If you want to know who it's directed towards, go read the comments in my comment section. And if I said you got old women who haven't given birth to anything trying to condemn women who don't want to give birth to black men, go look in the comment sections. And don't come in here being messy because you will get blocked. I always say people's name. So there's no confusion over who I'm talking about. You won't have to type the name in the chat box because I'll just say it. Ain't nobody doing subtleties over here. If I'm addressing somebody, I'm saying their name, period.
Go ahead, you damn lioness. Well, that is so true. A lioness don't play them damn games. We're gonna call your ass out. We're gonna say your name. You ain't got to never worry. You ain't got to worry.
But let me finish reading this comment from this lady. She says, now I've told my husband before that it starts with them. We need them to provide and protect, but you go still give birth to them even though they ain't. You told them it needs to start with them. You told them they need to provide and protect. They said no, so why are you still giving birth to them?
I like her points. I don't like or dislike her.
They said no.
I like her points.
They said it with their words. They said it with their actions. They said no. What are you going to do about it? She said, we need to feel protected at all costs. And as they work on that, we have to work on our femininity. She's speaking from the mind of a trash bag. Uh-huh. Whatever that may look like for your household. Ma'am, you're in a 50-50 marriage. That's the opposite of femininity. Your husband is a feminist if he's sitting up allowing you to go 50-50. And these are the expendable, feminist-minded males who refuse to provide and protect for you that you keep birthing. Again, if you believe it's beneficial to keep birthing them, then birth them. Keep doing it. You've been doing it. Keep doing the same thing, you'll get the same results. Just because you sit up here and drive an argument for giving birth to them, that's not going to make them say, oh, okay, well, now we will protect and provide for them. Exactly. No, they know you're going to birth them anyway. They know you're going to birth them anyway. So they don't have to protect you. They don't have to provide for you. They don't have to build anything for you because you're going to keep them here anyway. I'm choosing not to. Unless they're going to serve a purpose, why are they here? And they need to serve a purpose to someone other than the system that you have to fight against because they refuse to. She says, I'm grateful for my husband, even though neither one of us is perfect. This is code word for even though my husband is trash, he ain't a provider, he ain't a protector, he cheating on me, I'm struggling with these kids, and I'm going 50-50, at least I got a husband. That's what she's saying. Whenever you hear a black woman say that even though neither one of us are perfect, that means My husband is running amok. I'm not, but I'm going to try to equalize it to make my marriage seem like it's not trash when it really is trash. That's what she's saying. She's saying her marriage is trash. He out cheating on her, and she wrapping it up in neither one of us is perfect. No, you probably are perfect in your marriage. He ain't. You married, he's single. That's probably how he's functioning. Now, how many of y'all think this man is cheating based on her saying neither one of us is perfect? How many of you feel like he's likely cheating on her? Put a 1 in the chat box if you think her saying neither one of us is perfect means he's cheating on her and she tolerating it. Put a 1 in the chat box if you think that's what that means. Put a 2 in the chat box if you think it ain't. She let you know her husband is not a provider, he's trash, and he cheating on her. But she still want him here because at the end of the day, she wants a black man to look at and lay in the bed with. Bitches be sitting up here getting cheated on by everybody in creation, and they want to wrap it in a bow and say, oh, neither one of us is perfect. Yeah, but I bet you ain't cheating, and I bet you he is. She said, what we have is good communication, mutual respect. We know our roles and the willingness to allow grace when needed. What do you think she's allowing grace for? What do you think she's allowing grace for? Her allowing grace means when he cheats, I'm going to convince myself that this is what you got to put up with to be married. And it is. That's what you got to put up with to be married to a black man. It is exactly. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. She's telling you, I have to lend him passes. And I bet you she's a Christian too. I got to lend him passes. I'm going to try to pray his trash behavior away. And I'm going to give him some grace. Yeah, girl, I see who you are. I see the type of marriage that you got. I see exactly the type of marriage that she got.
Why most doctors won't tell their patients about this fungus treatment, even though it works in just 12 days.
If you're trying to get rid of toenail fungus,
says, I've learned to lean on him instead of being so strong and independent all the time. What liberation. Girl, bye. You floating that household nearly on your own. Stop playing. Then she says, and he's learned patience and the importance of providing and protecting. So if he had to learn patience, that means he been popping off and cussing her out. He been popping off and cussing her out. He had to learn to have patience and provide and protect. So he been cheating on you, popping off on you. You going 50-50, but you been giving him grace, and he had to learn to have patience, and i.e. not cuss you out no more. And then he had to learn to be a provider and a protector as well. This is her marriage that she over here trying to flex on. Let me slow down the chat. People are saying the chat box need to be slowed down. So let me slow it down. I'm only going to be on here for a couple more minutes anyway. Because I have to go to a dental appointment. So I'm only going to be on here for a couple more minutes anyway. But yeah, so he been cussing her out. And now he got some patience to not cuss her out. That's what that means. She said it must start with less broken families in the Black community choosing the right mate to have a baby with. Do y'all think she's quoting what she actually thinks, or do y'all think she's speaking from her husband's mouth? Do y'all think she's speaking from her husband's mouth? Roxy says, or when they say we had ups and downs, he cheated. Exactly. When they say, oh, he's not perfect. Oh, okay, he cheated. Okay. When they sit in here and say, oh, nobody's perfect and I had to give him grace. Oh, okay, basically you had to stay despite the fact that he was cheating. Okay, we know. We know. We know. Her husband done simply sat up here and done wore her down to where she is sitting up over here. Let me look at her profile and try to see, because I bet you, look. Yep. Yep. A woman that's not a preference. She's not ugly, but she's definitely not a black man's preference. So this is why she's allowing the cheating and the berating, and she's sitting here advocating for you to give birth to expendable men. And that's why somebody came on here and said, girl, by your word, it starts with them protecting and providing. They're not doing it. Drastic times call for drastic measures. And then she comes back on here and she says, I said what I said and stand by it. Do you have a solution? If not, have a good day. The solution is to stop birthing them. But since she's low self-esteem, she has no value, all of her validation comes from a black man's presence, then to her, absolutely not giving birth to them is not an option, because to her, if you don't give birth to them, who's going to validate her? Who's going to validate her if black men don't exist? See, because black men already beat down your self-esteem collectively to the degree that you think no other man wants you. They done got you to believe that they carry a seed and that they can create a child with any race of woman. That's why you call in their mixed children black, yet you're running around thinking you need to give birth to them, though. So black women, I want to ask a question, black women. If you believe that black men's mixed children are black because he carries the seed, then why do you need black women to give birth to him? Why? All you are is a receptacle. And if you're just a receptacle, then, I mean, look, let me move aside then. Let me move aside and let black men go out and have the better women birth them. And FJ all day made a good point. A happily married woman wouldn't be watching my content, let alone commenting. I don't think she would either. That woman ain't happy. She may be married, but she ain't happy.
That part is true.
She getting cheated on. She getting put through the ringer. She getting talked down to. She just giving them grace, which means excuses.
That's right. Homie, don't play that one. She's 100% correct. How many
black women have adamantly said if the father is black, then the child is black. Okay, then go get Maria, Ling Ling, and Becky to have your babies. Then nobody should be calling you hateful. Nobody should be telling you you're erasing the black community, because by their logic, you.
Hey, it's Mel Robbins.
The black community because you don't even have a seed. And let's not even get on the Christian remixes, aka Hebrew Israelites, because they the main ones run around saying the black man carry the seed. Oh, if the father black, the baby black. Oh, well, your children gonna be black. Okay, Becky having sons then.
Oh God.
Okay, fine.
Oh, Lord.
Fine. Then I'm a Hebrew Israelite man. And since I believe that the man carries the seed, then you don't need my womb. You can go get the womb of anybody. Nick Cannon said that he turning Becky's kids black, so go ahead and get Becky to have your sons. Even though they don't recognize their biracial sons as black, they only recognize the females as black because they want to jump into bed with them. But the bottom line of it is those males, Becky will birth a black son before I do. That I promise you that. I promise you Becky will birth a black son before I do. She sure will. I'm passing the baton over to her, and black men, you could take your seed, you could take your fertilizer, and you can go plant it in white soil, and you can come back with a black baby. Because look, you're not about to tell me that you can replace me with somebody else's womb and I still give you my womb. There's no fool over here. Ain't no fool over here. The fool is the one
It's sad, but no lies, besides not giving a black man a baby and just having girls. But there's no lies detected. There are no lies. These are the things that they tell us. These are the things that they tell us, you know. So, like, if we would have had more of these conversations when we was younger, we wouldn't have been having all it'll be less children out these without fathers. And then if people front like they in a happy home, but they're not. And I have this argument all the time. Oh, my grandmother and grandfather, yeah, but you don't know what happened in their relationship. You don't know why grandma stayed. You don't know why grandpa stayed. You don't know if it was a shotgun wedding. Back in the days, they was no the first lady that you got knocked up, love her or not, they're not having no bastard kids. And at that point in time, you had to be married so the child can have your last name, or that child be considered a bastard kid. It's more normal now to have kids all around. So they're not gonna call all these kids bastards. Because the man is married to none of them. Some men got 5 and 6, 7 baby mamas, not married to none. So you can't call them all bastard kids. So they don't even really use that word bastard no more, like far as towards kids. You use it like towards adults when you like being mad. Like I said, is there somebody for everybody? But y'all better stop. Y'all if they don't they want to let us be. I can show you countless of video. I can show you where these men are. Like I said, only reason why I agree with because I purposely go into these chats just to hear what they saying. They know us women be in the bushes, and I'm not really listening to what they're saying. I'm looking at all the money they receive to disrespect a woman. They get paid good ass money to tell us we average, to tell us not to work, then tell us level up. You got to be in the bushes in some of these things. And they don't get no $5, $10. They get $100, $100. Them men start giving it from the hundreds. But this same men will bad talk their baby mama. They will not give their baby mama none of them $100 bills because they dislike the baby mother so much because you put that mother through so much. I'm not talking about even if she is a terrible mother, then you should go get your kid. You should make sure your stuff is right and go get your kid and stop giving the next man your money. Men always got a habit of giving the next man their money. If they give a woman money, they want something back in return. If they give a woman, if a man, a lot of men, when they give their baby mamas money, they want something back in return. Forget the fact that they have to buy stuff for the kids. They want something back in return. And you know what I'm talking about. But when it comes down to the next man, as soon as they say something that sound right here, I just go there just to look at the donations. I don't even care what they say. I don't care anymore. I don't care. I really don't care. I seen too many elderly women single, just living a best life, living their best life. But she's finished. So now let's get to what Tanya has to say. Let's get into Tanya, which I totally agree with this too. I agree with both. One is speaking upon kids that's not here. One is speaking upon kids that is here.
Then we're going to open up the phone lines because I want to hear from some of you, and I'm going to tell you what was it that brought this on my mind today of all days, especially with all of the things that are going
that
on.
part is
Because
true.
you all know
If they get the money.
Give me 1 second. Let me just get the web captioners up. So go on, text notification squad. Go ahead and throw up your tens and come on in. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you all supporting the channel and showing up. You know, there are a lot of people who have a lot of criticisms about. Here we go. Give me 1 second. All right. There's the web captioner. I put up the web captions. You know, there's some people who have criticisms about the web captions. The video was so disturbing. Let's see if we can find the.
Selling, coaching, and consulting online.
There, girl. That's smoky eye. Girl, girl, girl. All right. Here it is. All right. So you remember these three cute little teeny boppers, and then the woman came in, whip in hand, whipping. Oh, this is my face after seeing the whipping. Whipping. She came in. Remember? Oh my gracious. I mean, but you all remember the video. I got in I got in Facebook trouble, YouTube trouble, even though there wasn't any. You all remember? They were doing their little rap, and then remember, look, if you're sensitive, now is the moment that you may want to stop it until you see the videos off the screen. All right, here we go. I'll rewind it just a little bit so that you can see the drop of the energy. Leaves the stove on, or forget
See, I had to fast forward that part. I ain't on time for no copyright strikes.
something out of place, or doesn't have her key, or doesn't, or isn't doing things in a way that you know that she should do. Would you get the vacuum cleaner cord and whip your mother? Would you get a belt or shoe, slap your father upside his face, his neck, his back, his arms? Would you do that? Because it's essentially the same thing. A person whose mind is not connecting fully, a person who at this point really doesn't know better, right? But I wonder, what is it that makes us hate Black children so much that we would get cords and whips, shoes, closed fists, that we would cuss them out, right? That we would cuss them out, put them down, push them down, and those sorts of things, right? And so I ask you all this question: what is it? Because I understand that people say, "Oh, well, you know, our parents birthed us, and so there's a certain level of reverence and respect that we have for parents, right?" But our children come from us through our loins. They are not us, but they are of us. They don't belong to us. But the general sentiment that I get is my children belong to me, and I'm going to do with them as I please. And when we start talking about, when we start criticizing, when we start criticizing men for not valuing children in the community, can we really say as a whole that women value children in the community? Can we say that as a whole? Even starting with how the children get into this earth, onto this earth. Do we respect our children enough to make sure that we vet the person who inseminates us? Do we respect their life enough to know that, you know what, I'm going to be bringing a human into this world? I want to make sure that I copulate with a person who can afford to even take care of children, that I can afford to take care of children, that I am in a mental state that is healthy enough to be able to navigate a human being through this life. Why do we hate children in the Black community? And I believe that it has something to do with our own internal self hatred, because you can see a reflection of how you feel about yourself by how you treat that which comes from your loins, right? That's the question right there. Why is it that we feel that? So, I've been contemplating on this for some time, and I'm like, well, old people, they have tender skin. If you take a cord, a vacuum cleaner cord, or or an extension cord, and start whipping an old person, their skin can split. But are children's skin not sensitive and tender? Are children not precious? Are children unaware of how things go in life, of how they're supposed to do things? Why is it that we as Black people are not mastering the art of communicating? Why is it that we feel that we cannot communicate with our children? Why don't we challenge ourselves to learn how to articulate? It's like there's so many of us as adults. We don't know how to communicate. We don't know how to articulate. We don't know how to communicate and articulate with our children. So we get upset about something that we feel that them coming into this world and not knowing and understanding how things work in this world, that instead of being able to articulate and pontificate with them, that we start whipping them, that we start beating them, we thrash them and beat them down emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically, breaking our children down. And and the dissonance, the cognitive dissonance of realizing that in the same way that you know a tree by its fruit, you shall know a parent by its children. Why is it that this woman could sit up there and talk about how her daughter's vaginas smell, her young 12-year-old daughter vagina smell, but not realize that it's her who teaches how to wipe and clean vagina? Why is it that we don't realize, or is it that we hate ourselves so much that when we see that young person, that small person of ours come into this world, that we are so disgusted with self-hatred for ourselves and where our lives are going, that we take it out on that child who is coming into this world ignorant and unaware, small and fragile, but we treat that child like they're tougher than they are. And there's this phenomenon, and I don't understand the phenomenon, where we actually treat Black girls as if they are tougher and harder than they are. And we harden them and we toughen them with our violence and our harsh words and our adultification of these Black girls, while on the other hand, infantilizing Black boys. I I I think I want to know the answers to this. Please tag somebody in this video, share this video, because I'm about to turn on the phone line and I want to hear from you. I'm hoping that this conversation, the people who believe in corporal punishment, because it's like people want to be better. People want to get better. They want to live their best lives. But it's uncomfortable to look inward and contemplate on things that we can do differently. Why is it that we're not protecting our children? If 60% of Black girls are coming out of our community having been intimately assaulted and R-worded, right? Why are we not protecting Black girls? Why are Black girls coming to people and telling them what's happening to them, and people are ignoring it, still inviting these people over for Thanksgiving, having them over at barbecues and just being like, well, don't let anybody sit on Uncle Chester's lap, because why? Why are we not ousting these people from our community? Why are we not lambasting these predators? Why are we not keeping a close eye and close watch on who we allow around our children? On how it is that we show up for our children? Because I personally think that there is a correlation between corporal punishment, the ways that we feel that we have the right to whip our children's bodies how we see fit, to touch their bodies in ways that they did not consent to, in the form of whipping, and also how that correlates to intimate assault in our community as well, where we do not value the boundaries and we do not value boundaries between us and our children. We don't value the boundaries between taking care of our children's bodies, between teaching our children autonomy, and then respecting our children enough. There's somebody spamming in the comments. Let me get rid of this real quick. Respecting our children enough to respect their bodies and teach them that their bodies are worthy and deserving of respect. Because there is a breaking down that happens when you don't respect your children's bodies and you start whipping them and touching them in ways that they can't consent to, and them also being touched in ways that they don't consent to. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's certain words we cannot say on YouTube, but I want you to understand and catch my drift that these are things that are one and the same. And then, or cousins, maybe not one and the same, but close cousins. And then let's talk about how single mothers are not valued in our community, right? Let's talk about that. We know that it's a common theme that once you give birth to a Black child or a half Black child, that your worth is lowered. In our community, white woman giving birth to a half Black baby, her worth is lowered. We think so little of ourselves and the little kings and queens, the little princes and princesses that we birth into this world, that when a woman undergoes the journey into motherhood, that her worth lessens in the community. How could people who value the existence of themselves devalue a person who has navigated a human being into this world? All right. So you know what? Listen, I hear apples coming through, so I need to get the apples up. I need to get the phone lines open. So I'm going to play the commercial and we're going to be back in 1 minute. We're going to be back 1 minute, 11 seconds. Are you tired of missing Tanya TKO's live videos? Arriving late.
I was looking for an old video that I make, but for some reason, my stuff is disappearing. But the problem comes when you have no connection to the mother. The child abuse comes when you have no connection to the mother or the father. There's no emotional connection. That's why I tell all a mother or I tell a boy, you have to literally love. I'm not saying it's going to work out, but if you love them, even if you fall out of love, that's different. But you got to at least be in love to fall out of love. For them to have an okay, Sujo, and that's what you think. Now, as I was saying, that's because there's no emotional connection. So that means when this child is born, the mother may have been in love with the father didn't love the mother. So there's a disconnect. I don't know where that video went, but I'm going to do another video on that. And that includes the mothers. Once the father leaves, the kid was only there because they had the baby because they thought they was going to make the daddy happy. They thought that they was going to be a family. So now this child now reminds them of their father. So that child now gets abused. See, there was never no emotional connection. That's why you can sit up there and turn your back on your child. And it's sad. I need to find that video. I need to find that video. I need to find it. I don't even remember the title. But just to throw back some of the things that I was saying. And it's sad. That's why you always have what you call the black sheep of the family. It's not the fact that you're a black sheep of the family, but these kids ain't stupid. They already know their father didn't love their moms. So why does some parents take care of some kids and some don't? They don't want to tell you the truth. I have no emotional connection to this child. How many men, especially famous men, they would pay for everything but never loved that child. The child did not come from who they wanted that child to come from. Same thing as a mother. She hate that man. She's so bitter. Now that child got to pay. That child now has to pay. See, having children is you got to be careful. And then some mothers with that postpartum, if it doesn't get fixed, some women can't even touch their kids. They can't. Some women can't even look at it. Like people keep thinking that a baby is going to make you happy. A baby is not going to make you happy. It's not. It's not the answer to everything. It's not the answer if you feel lonely because you're the black sheep. Now you're going to have a child just to have a child to make that child now the black sheep. It's a shame what some of these older children have to go through when daddy, uh, as they get 18 and over, they could see that their father had other kids and they're like, damn, I never had that. I never had that. That's when that man decided to mature. So now the man has matured. Now he wants to be a dad because he had the baby. It's not the fact that now he wants to be a dad. It's the fact that this is the woman who he wanted to have kids from. It just wasn't your mother. Look at that. Look at that undercover sniper. Where you be? Where you be? That undercover sniper ain't no joke. Hey Zeke, how you doing? I tell you, my snipers, boy. I can't be playing with my snipers. My snipers don't play. I got the best snipers on YouTube. The best ones. I got the out of all. Some people got a lot of mods. My mods ain't even mods. They snipers, baby, snipers. Yeah, but that's what I was saying. A lot of this contains if they are if they are emotionally and tied to the mother. Like some women wanted a quickie, that man left because of her beliefs or whatever. She didn't get rid of it. She didn't want to get rid of get rid of that. You know, she didn't want to handle that. So a lot of children is born straight up with no love. You would think that a lot of children are born and there is no love. Anytime you got to convince a man, oh, you're going to be a dad and you have to do this, you have to do that. When a man should be like, oh, I'm so happy I'm going to be a dad. But unfortunately, that's from 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 year olds. No, they're not happy to be a dad. And this woman think, okay, now I can get from under mommy. Now I can be my own woman. That's why I say you got to be careful with having all them slip tails, because too many women can't live in the same household. That's the only part. Cynthia G forgot to tell you. Look how her and her sisters. I'm the middle child, and look how she talked to her siblings. But I bet you all of them could not be in the same house, and they all females. Remember if y'all saw the video yesterday? Mm-hmm. But we're gonna finish hearing her out. But this is where that comes from. No love. Where the love at? Where the love at?
Having a small little issue because uh, we gotta the permissions. All right, that seems to be working. That seems to be working. Testing, testing. That seems to be working. So it's the browser permissions. Give me 1 second. It does this like the technology is not perfect. So while I'm working this out, why don't you go ahead and get your notes together? Go ahead and share the video, tag somebody so that they can participate in.
Yeah, but while she gets that together, we can finish talking too. But like I said, that's people like to speak upon what they're feeling at the moment. And especially, don't let that child look exactly like their father. Do not let that child look exactly like their father. And every time they see that child, they see that man who left them. They don't even see their son. So sometimes you can say don't birth the men, but a lot of women they damage their sons. They damage. It's not to the fact that we treat the boys better than the girls and we baby them. Some women, if they truly love that man, they're gonna over spoil you, the son. The son can't do no wrong because that's the man that they wanted. They can't get the man and they look at that child's face, and that reminds them of the man, or it swings the other way. It's either or. It's either or. It's either or. And some men, I don't care if the son, they already know the kid is theirs. They just don't get to itch. They don't get to itch. They don't care. They don't care. It all their kids look like them, and so we got to be careful. That's why we shouldn't be making babies. Period. Period. We should not be making these babies. Forget about the man child, the girl child, whatever. How I know? I deal with the kids that's hurting. Let's see where she at now.
It's still not working. It's not working. So it's not. Let's see. Let me. All right. I know I need to reboot the system, but I need to find a workaround while we're on here right now because I don't want to end the broadcast. Are open. I need Lines are opening. I need someone to try again now. If this doesn't work, then you're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
Hey, Tanya, can you hear me?
Yes, thank oh, we found the solution.
Yay!
At least a temporary one. Oh, thank you. Here's for not giving up and finding a workaround. Okay.
Zeke said, what are the solutions? A lot of solutions we heard from grandma. We just didn't listen. What was blessed to have their grandmother in their lives? A lot of solutions grandma told you already. A lot of the solutions grandpa told you already. The first thing is population. Grandpa and grandma said, put that bag on it, put the rain cap on it. Mama told you that girl wasn't no good for you. They done told you to get a job. A lot of things that makes it sound like our elders did not tell us these solutions already. We chose not to listen. Y'all told us that we old school, not knowing that y'all did hear us, and y'all going to be saying the same exact thing to the younger youth once they get younger. How many times they told you save your money for a rainy day? How many times they told you, take your money, buy a house to stay out of trouble? All of them are solutions. What do you think? They're not solutions? None of them are solutions. Don't be out there fighting. Yes, we are totally annoyed our elders. If we go back in time, or just go back to some of the things they said, that's even down to our mother. It don't even have to be our biological kin. But some elder told you something, even if it was an elderly uncle. They lived the life already. They lived it. They even told you gotta pay to play. They taught y'all men not to sleep in ish at the same spot. But how many men got baby mamas right next to one another? How many times they told you a man gotta work? A man should always have money in his pocket. A woman needs to act this way. How many times did grandma say, you don't buy, they ain't gonna buy the cow, you keep giving them the milk? They've been telling us little things. Keep your legs closed. Don't let a man go get all up and take your pearls from you. They sat around and every single day, our parents or our grandparents spoke to us. We ignored them. We didn't like nothing that they were saying. But then now we asking, not you, Zeke, in particular, not you. I'm just saying. Now we want to know what should we do? They told us, love yourself. You are beautiful. No, we didn't believe them. We walk around with not. How many mothers knew daddy or grandpa left, and they specifically say, no, we don't love that girl, don't do this, don't do that, or that man only wants you for your thing, don't do this, don't do that. We did it. Everything they told us not to do, we did. So these are the consequences. It's what they call generational curses. No, these are the consequences from our actions. We the one decided to have these babies. We didn't want to finish school. We didn't have nothing, no side, no plan B. So if you don't want to finish school, okay, what's your plan B? No, you want to hang up in them corners. And them little hot little mamas want to be on the corners with you. So now a dusty female and these dusty males having these babies, and these babies are born, they are born on negative. They are born negative. I've seen parents that didn't have no freaking food. You know what their child is drinking? Freaking Kool-Aid. Who gives their child Kool-Aid? Anytime you're a mom and you got to go around because you didn't prepare to have a baby. You got to go knocking on people's door. Oh, my child is hungry. Oh, I can't get this gift. Knowing that you didn't have nothing for that child. When your mother probably didn't have for you neither. That's why she told you not to do that. You don't, come on. So what is she saying? We shouldn't have kids for black men. We need to pick men for no. She ain't saying that neither. You can't. So we on another subject. TKO didn't say that. Cynthia G said that. Y'all gonna have to catch the replay. Y'all gonna have to catch the replay. But we're gonna continue with her.
So for the other people who called in earlier, please send me a message and I'll get back to you. All right. So talk to me. What is your name?
Tanya, my name's Toya.
Hi, Toya. So what is your comment today about why in the Black community do we hate children?
I feel like it's really like a miseducation and a misunderstanding of what some of those things that we're doing do to children, because they give us an immediate success. You know, like if you hit somebody, if you hurt someone emotionally by cursing them out, of course you get that immediate behavior modification. But I just think we haven't, or a lot of us haven't been educated to understand the second and third order effects of that.
Yes.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yes, but the thing is the impetus for it. Why do we hate a child enough to want to strike them and beat them anyway? Why?
I think some of it is fear, because I feel like and I'm kind of just speaking from my parents, how they treated me. You know, I was raised by a single mom, and I promised myself I was never going to whip or hit my son. And I remember the first time I spanked him, and how I cried after everybody went to bed. I wailed. But I think that there's a fear that if we don't train them, quote unquote, train them to behave in a respectable way, to conduct themselves in a certain way in the world, that something's going to happen to them. You hear people say all the time, well, if I didn't whip them, what about the police? What were the streets going to do to them, right? Especially with girls, too. Like, if I don't teach her to keep her skirt down and her legs closed and to be meek and not speak up and be too confident, she's going to be out here and, you know, the bad men are going to get her, right?
Mm-hmm.
So...
yeah,
I think that's a part of it.
But the thing is, but the thing that I don't understand is, so you want to protect her body by harming her body? That's the thing that I don't understand. How?
It's definitely a type of dissonance where I feel like people are thinking they're choosing the lesser harm.
I see. All right. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Toya, thank you for calling in. We love you. All right. So the phone lines are open. And I see that there's some apples coming through. So as soon as we take another 2 calls, I'm going to check the apples. So this is the number going across the screen right here for those of you who want to call in, 323-488-3149. And send a special hug out to the people on Facebook. From watching the trial of Facebook on Congress the other day, I realized that the people on Facebook are not all right. They are being manipulated mentally and just whipped into a flurry over there. You're on air live with Tanya, TKO. What is your name?
Hey, Tanya. I called before. My username is Angel.
Hi, Angel. So talk to us. What is your comment this morning?
Okay. Thank you for bringing up this topic. I think it'd be so healing. You always do such healing topic. I think that one of the reasons that all this hurting of children is going on in the Black community is people don't, they have children for the wrong reasons.
Interesting. Okay, let's hear this theory. So they're having children for the wrong reasons. Talk to me. What do you mean by that?
Well, for me, for example, my parents had me really late in life, and I was very wanted. However, I think my purpose was to save the marriage.
Oh,
And the
okay.
marriage still continued. My father still continued to cheat. He still continued to do a lot of things. And with my mom, she mostly handled, you know, she was extremely punitive. Even a look that she didn't like could get you slapped across the room or whipped literally from room to room to the point where my dad had to pull her off of me. And I think I was mostly there to save the
See?
marriage. However, because I was very financially, quote, spoiled, I had, the big room with the canopy bed and my father got me a pony and I had mopeds and all these material things. But I was very physically and emotionally. She will break you down, tell you you're stupid, ugly, nobody's ever going to want you at 9, 10 years old. So I think, but I do see other people in the black community even now talk about how, they, uh, because I've chosen to be child free myself. They'll tell me stuff like, well, who's going to take care of you when you get older? And I thought, I'll be professionals because that's not a good reason to have kids, is to have a nursery.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you said it. I'm so
I just
glad you
think that's
said it.
terrible. Yeah, they say
Yes.
that. Then they say stuff like, and single mothers, that's another reason I was afraid to have children is because single mothers are so vilified. I feel so bad for them. They're like super women. They do everything, especially if their father. Unfortunately, if the father of the child is black, many times they end up abandoned. And I'm not saying that can't happen with white men too, if your baby's daddy is white, but it is very common amongst us. And
Yeah.
so, when black men have tried to pressure me to have their children, including my husband, I wouldn't do it because I don't think you're going to be there for the kid, and I think you're just on some ego trip. That's another thing. A lot of them want to have babies with me to like kind of chain themselves to me, and nobody talks about that. Everybody talks about how women allegedly use babies to quote unquote trap men. I don't know if you trap a grown person who knows how babies are made and knows he can impregnate you, but whatever. That's the narrative you hear. Nobody talks much about how men pressure women. I've never been in a relationship where I wasn't pressured to have a child,
Oh my Lord.
and even uh,
Question though. You said your husband was pressuring you to have his child. Are you two still
yeah, and
together?
I tell men on the second date. The second date, I'm like, I don't think that's for me. I really want to focus on my career, and so I don't think So it's not like they get some big surprise that I'm not interested in doing that. And I might say something to leave the door open a little because I wasn't totally closed to it. I just said unlikely. And my husband who I was with, he was he already had he had a previous wife that he actually had married, and stuff, and he had 4 children from her, 3 boys and a girl. So he had every gender, and so it's like I wasn't depriving him of anything, but this became a big argument point where he was like on me every day about it, arguing with me about still taking birth control. And so we talked about this early on. So I feel
Yeah.
like
They try to
sometimes
breed
you
you.
feel like,
They try to breed you. They
yeah,
wanna,
you feel like
I was
you're
talking
loathing
about
too.
this in a video the other day. They want to trap you with their children. People talking about women trapping men, but the trap is really on women. You trap yourself with somebody's baby. And there are men out there who will purposely take off their prophylactics, mess with your birth control pills, all of this stuff to try to breed you so that you're stuck with them and they're stuck as a part of your family tree forever.
Exactly. And that's so true. And you know what? There's even a term for that where they take it off, they take off a condom. It's called stealthing. I don't know if you've heard of that,
Yeah.
but incels talk
That
about
sounds
it a
too
lot.
that sounds
It's
too that
disgusting.
sounds too cute, but that is assault. That is
Yeah,
assault.
it is not.
Now this is an old video, right? It's an old video. So if I can use people's stuff, I gotta go back and find my old videos. I cannot wait till I get me better light and my little green screen. This is for Soldier. She about the only one remember these days. My light, and I'm telling you, people can't tell me, oh, you gotta make sure you have this. No, just cut it on. You'll get better. Now this is an old video. I did. And let me use some of my old stuff. I could use their stuff. I could use my stuff too. But Soldier, remember my bad lighting and everything. But Foot Soldier still had my back. Bad lighting and everything. But she had my back. I said 50 Cent and his son Mim. Look who came up. Look who came up. Rainbow Boy. Rainbow Boy. Entitlement that could not be met, filtering that energy through his actual personal interests. So, while being a privileged child, he feels deprived. His son is 23 years old now, but this is before. This is when he was younger. He been speaking to the boy, but this interview was just done. Not to mind you, when he was 18, he did a meme telling his son, "I ain't giving you nothing no more." Now, out of all the problems a child can give you, out of all the, you got some kids that rob from their parents, steal from their parents. I mean, they do drugs. Some don't come home. Some even burn their parents' bed. You're not speaking to your son because you are rich and he's privileged. Because you are rich and he wants to feel privileged. This okay, I can understand you wanting your kid to take care of himself and you cut him off. Oh. My Wi-Fi was bad then. That's when me and Wi-Fi didn't get along. That's fine. His son has every right to feel entitled. That doesn't mean he's going to get what he wants. But that doesn't make you hate your son. That doesn't make you not speak to your son. That makes you say you're not getting nothing. That's it. That will make a child not speak to the father. That don't make you not speak to the kid because the money's in your pocket. You don't have to give it to the kid. So the kid could get mad if you ain't giving it. But that's still not you gotta give me a better reason. Then he says, well, I want to go further up a little bit, not here. And got hit by a bus. Unfortunately, things got even worse. I had bad Wi-Fi. Let me find this for y'all. Between you and your son. He was right. His son is in a conversation, but they got scared like he was going to do something for them talking about his son. How? No, you can't get no lower than that. You can't get no lower than that's some low out. You that's some low. Please go check out this video yourself. Go check out this latest video itself. Go check it out. When he's telling people, I don't care what you do, he comments. Not to hear him. This may not be it. Shucks.
Curtis Jackson, this is what I was going to experience. I would love to hear your experience. This is the place I would love to hear your experience if any of this ring a bell with you. Give me 1 second, guys. See, that's what stopped me from doing the videos. Look at that. I get up and down too much. My bad Wi-Fi. I need your participation. Damn, my Wi-Fi was real bad. Somebody worse than father. A lot of these young kids get taken advantage of when they're young. And you know what I mean? They don't want you to say the things on YouTube. But they get abused. They get abused mentally, physically, and emotionally and some of these kids they don't make it to their next birthday because dad don't know what's going on, and these boyfriends are now abusing. We're going to get to they should be out the house, the mother shouldn't be bothered. That will be next week. But what I'm saying is it still takes two for that to happen. A man couldn't do that to another man's child if he knew there was another man, that father is around. He could not, because he knows he would have to deal with that for that child's father. Oh man, that's not the video. I'm about to do another whole one. That's terrible. We're finished with girlfriend. And let's listen to their stories. Dag it.
And having babies. And I was just like, because it feels flattering. And it feels like, oh, he wants to procreate with me. He wants to make kids with me. And usually these serious relationships.
I'm sorry, my dear. I hold you. Driver's seat, you have been put in the back seat, mofo. Ain't no chicks over here. You lost your mind, son. Go join the block party with them other people. Go over there, eat your hot dog buns, but no hot dog, no ketchup or nothing over there. Dry on the crabgrass lawn. You out of here. I'm sorry, I had to just block somebody real quick. It was doing too much.
I think that's great when you do. To me, that's demonstrating boundaries, and I really need to see that. But yeah, that's what I think is one of the reasons why. I mean, and my mom, like I said, she was just with you from room. You're trying
Let me ask you a question. When your mother gets older, you're gonna take care of her?
I'm sorry?
When your mother gets older, you're gonna take care of her?
She passed away when I turned 16.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. So she never made it to be old. What was that like for you? Because I know that was your mother.
I can relate to you because you've talked a lot about losing your mom early in life too. It was pretty devastating on several levels because, I mean, I had the trappings of love, like I said, because materialistically, I had two parents in the home, and they both spoiled me, and I was a daddy's girl, but people didn't see what was going on inside the house, or how I was taught to, or how I was, pretty much told that, I'll be lucky if I ever, with the way you keep house, you'll be lucky if any man will ever have you. Or, so, like you said it. And my therapist told me later on, she said, a lot of what you're telling me I think your mom had some real self-hate issues. And also, I didn't come out light skinned enough. That was another problem for my mom. She was brown complected. She married a man. My father looked biracial, but he wasn't. He had two black parents, but he had like spiral curly hair and hazel eyes and light brown skin. And she wanted me to come out like that. And I came out more brown complected. I would say you and I are about the same complexion, but that wasn't good enough for her because remember I was telling you they were older parents, so they
How
were
old were
even more
they?
in the tolerance. Oh yeah, they were. They had me at like they were in their early 40s because they've been trying for like 12 years. They had one. I had a
That's
brother
older,
who I never.
early 40s. These young people today.
I know, but back then, the 80s, the 70s, the 70s and
Yeah,
80s
yeah,
when I
yeah,
was
yeah.
born,
So your mother died
that
when
was
she was
considered elder.
56 or around
Who,
60?
who was 60?
Your mother when she passed away.
Yes, yes, she passed away young, and my father did too. He went 4 years before she did.
Really? So
I
they
mean,
really didn't
he
stay on earth very long. But you know what? You were meant to
they
be
weren't.
here. They got you here and then they transcended. I would love to talk with you longer because this conversation is so good, but I do have to let other people call in too. But please do keep your head up, okay? What's your name in the comments you said?
Angel Bunny.
All right. Angel Bunny is in the comments, so give us some love, you all. Thank you so much, Angel.
Thank you, Tanya. Love what you do. Love it.
We love you too. Bye. All right, the phone lines are open. Oh, back to back. You're on the air live with Tanya. What's your name?
JC,
Your name is JC, you say?
yes, I posted in your comment section 2 times.
Okay, so JC,
Um,
talk to us.
yeah, first I just want to say that I don't think that it has anything to do with discipline. It's really about the parent. They're not getting their children out of discipline. It's out of their own anger. And a lot of times it's because they have a lack of control in their own lives. They're dissatisfied with their jobs and life. They're being controlled by their bosses, and they're not in control of anything except their household. So they get to come home and take their anger out on their children. They're basically just bullies. I mean, nobody wants to use that word, but they actually are bullies because when you look at it, it's wrong to hit a woman for a man to hit a woman because the man is bigger than the woman. But how do we not make the correlation that the woman is bigger than a child? So it's the same logic. And then another thing I want to comment on is that a lot of these women talk about not coddling. I know that black women and black boys are abused, but it affects black boys differently based on call young serious and man child. And a lot of women talk about not coddling black boys because they think it's going to cause them to be more feminine. But that's actually not correct because that masculine energy that these women are putting on children actually causes them to be feminine. The nurturing and that feminine energy is what makes them masculine. And so,
What?
yeah, I just don't.
Hold on.
I get what he's saying.
Say that.
Let me back up a little bit. Let me back it up a little bit. We have to remember why we got beat as kids. Because it was passed down to us from the slave master. We got beat because our forefathers were beat to be kept in place to do what the master said. And then we, in return, beat our kids when they got to keep them in place. So the parents beat their kids so they can give the child punishment a little bit more lighter than what the slave master would have done. So I may beat you, but that slave master might hang you. So it was all about keeping a child in their place. So yes, it doesn't make it wrong. Hell yeah. But we still got to tell you where it stemmed from. Where did it stem from? So every generation, well, I got beat. So soon you see your child, you have a child, Your child is out of order. But we was always supposed to be kept in order because we were so scared that we would never see our kids again. So that iron cord represents that horsewhip because it stings. Whip, whip, whip. The iron cord is the closest thing to it. So you, to control your child's behavior or make them look good or act right, they that's a learned behavior that now we're learning that you don't have to do this to your child. A lot of negativity that we have in our communities is learned behavior. There's the point of people not able to even just be a human being and live in humanity, that you always got to be taught something, or you got to act this way. So the same thing happens, same thing these men, same thing our parents did to us, which is the same thing adults do to each other as a couple. So now you're giving them rules and regulations, and then you want to discipline them when they don't act right. So it doesn't just it starts from the parent, and then we take that into our adulthood. That's something we have to break. Period. That's why we have these extreme women and these extreme men. That all this is hatred, 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 hatred. So hatred. You cannot expect for a dark-skinned person to not have some hate when they never was like praised for being black. You always heard, oh, you cute to be dark skinned, or you cute to be black dark skinned. But I know too many women literally hate themselves for being dark. I've seen people, elderly people, they don't, and I'm telling you the God honest truth, who said to themselves, they have like either dementia or something, they don't even remember a lot of things. But what they do remember is people calling them ugly. And they can't even look in the mirror. I seen some old ladies look in the mirror and it's like, and you say, you hear them say, oh, I'm ugly. And you're like, why? They were like, just look at me. Yeah, I'm black. And look at my nose. I'm like, when you got something like that, you can remember that when you can't even remember your own kids. You don't even know your surroundings, but you know how you were treated. Yo, when I used to see that, my heart broke. My eyes always watered. When you see elderly people saying I'm ugly and still can't look in the mirror. And when I mean they got dementia and Alzheimer's, well, you would think they're not even thinking about that anymore, but they are. They are still thinking about that. So, look at Snoop Dogg's daughter, right? All the boys came out extremely light. She came out a little darker than her mother and her father. Snoop Dogg's daughter has everything laid right in front of her, but she still felt ugly. She still wanted to take her life. She wanted to take her life. I'm trying to explain this to you. And she received nothing but love. Yeah. Let me see if I can find that for you guys. I'm gonna find it for you right now. Now look, I'm gonna show you how real this is. This is real. Let me show you. This is the story I want you guys to see. Please, please stay tuned. This is Snoop Dogg's daughter. This is Snoop Dogg's daughter.
Possible because I just want everybody to know that I'm human, and I mean we're all human, right?
And you want to have all girls, right?
When you have a title, and when you're something or you're somebody, people think you don't go through stuff, and that has to be the most frustrating, irritating thing in the world. Because just because my dad is who he is, that doesn't mean I don't get sad. That doesn't mean I don't want things, or I don't feel a way. Like I just I don't know how to explain it, but basically, I posted that I tried to commit suicide, and I think it starts from my childhood, right? I grew up with 2 light-skinned brothers. And I was the only chocolate one. I was overweight. I got lupus at 6, so I was overweight from being on steroids. And that just automatically just messed with my health. Like I've always been sad. I've always been depressed. And I feel like I've been through a lot. Like, as far as my sickness, and then not knowing if it was cancer or if it was lupus, and then find out that it was lupus, and just me being sick, dealing with stuff like that. Like I hate seeing kids sick because I've been sick. I am sick. It's a lot. Like body hurting. You just in pain, and you so young. You like, what is happening to me? Like, what is going on? And then you look at your brothers and your other family members, like, dang, like, why me? Like, why? Like, not saying I wish they had it, but why me? Why am I going through this? Why did God choose me? Why me? And I feel like I've always been in the hospital. I've just always been sick. Like, it's just always been something wrong with me. And even in school, like when I first got lupus, my face used to peel, my hair was falling out, and just even me being dark. Like people like looked at me like I was an alien, like I was a monster. And I remember I got on social media when I was like 13, and my mom and dad didn't want me to because I wasn't strong in there. And I got on there and I just got super bullied. Like people just always talk about me. You're fat, you're ugly, you're dark, you're this, you're that. And I used to cry, like I mean cry, like at 13
My
I was ready to
Wi-Fi
die.
is
Like
messed up.
just so sad, crying to my mom, like I'm so ugly. Like
We're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into this video. My Wi-Fi is not acting right at all. But we're gonna show this video later. Okay? Later or tomorrow. We're gonna get into this video. Okay? We're gonna get into this because this is serious. This is serious. That's very serious. And this is what happens in our society. So you say don't have no more males. This is what our little girls are going through. So you want more little girls to go through this? You want more girls? I mean, do y'all really understand? I mean, I understand this extremeness bullshit. I get it. But remember, that's all for YouTube. That's all for money. Yes, they make valid points, but not valid points in being correct is two different. Saying other things that's extreme is two different things. That's extreme. I'm gonna show you some girls that never felt love. You got a lot of men, they girl dads and their moms will be girl moms. You don't see a lot of women bragging about all these daggone girls they got, all these slip tails. So I'm gonna let Tanya finish. I don't think I could because my Wi-Fi is messed up. But I'm gonna end this and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Peace out. I will come right back with her when my Wi-Fi get better.